Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dylan, and I'm back again with my weekly comic book reviews. Now, if you're new to my channel, this is basically my weekly pickups that, I snagged from my local comic book shop. And, I gotta get a tagline so I can start shouting my, local comic shop out. But, if you're in the Ohio, Cleveland area, check out North Coast Nostalgia. I'll try to put a link in the description. But, they always treat me right. And if you're around that area, check them out because they're one of the best shops in the area, no doubt. But, if you guys notice, my last 2 weeks, I try to get these videos out by at least Wednesday or Thursday. But, I actually came down with a bad migraine for not one day, but two. And man, when I get migraines, they literally put me out of like commission, and I just can't even be like around anything or any light. I just have to sit in the room in the dark and sleep because like my head will pound so bad. But enough of that. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know why these books took a little bit to get out, because I didn't even end up getting to pick my books up till like Wednesday night. I usually pick them up first thing in the morning. But it was a good little week. Nothing major, not a huge week, but it was still a very good week in books. And I'm gonna start off with my pick of the week. Something is Killing the Children, issue 2. This by far was a much better issue than the first. I have to go back and read the issue 1 again, but for some reason the art just seemed really amazing in this. Just a huge step up. Maybe the artist kind of had to rush that first issue out or something, but just this issue, man, the art was really beautiful. The story just, it steps up and it keeps continuing where that first issue left off, and I am just so intrigued in this story. James Tynion is really doing his thing, and I am excited to see where this goes because I am a huge horror fan. It's Halloween time. I threw on the shirt just for the special occasion. I am excited to see where this goes, and if you aren't picking this up, I highly recommend it, especially if you are a horror fan or if you're a James Tynion fan. Yeah, pick this up if you can because it is really good. Next, The Mask. I pledge allegiance to The Mask. Always was a huge Jim Carrey Mask fan. I even liked the sequel with Jamie Kennedy when I was younger. But I always knew that the Mask comic book, I always heard that it was a lot darker and a lot, grittier. And, I had a feeling reading this book that it was not going to be, the Jim Carrey version, and it definitely wasn't. And I wasn't sure how I was going to like it, but the art was like really dark. It gave me a lot of like Spawn vibes. I gotta think of the guy who was like doing art for like 280s or something for Spawn. The art looks just like his style. It was dark, gritty style, and I enjoyed it. The first part of this story was really dark and man, really good. Wasn't sure if I was going to end up going to issue 2, but I think I'm going to stick with this because it's only like 4 issues, and I'm interested to see where this goes. Next, this one was a bit of a disappointment. Sea of Stars issue 4. Now this is looking like I think I'm going to drop this because the story just isn't, I'm not really getting with the characters. I just don't have I don't feel for these characters. I really just, the art was what's really bringing me to like this story, but the story is just, falling short and not enough is happening, and I'm just not connecting with the characters. So I think that this is going to be the last issue I pick up for this one. There's a lot more indie titles coming, so be on the lookout when I do more indie titles. But let's start off with Marvel now, or let's continue with Marvel. And the big book, the biggest book probably of the week, XMen 1, the continuation of, Jonathan Hickman's, Powers of X and House of X. And, this was a good story. Definitely not like, it's definitely not like a POX or HOX story, but it was a good summer story. And you know, I was really hesitant when I first opened these couple pages, because the art for like the first couple panels was, I did not like it at all. I don't understand what the need for like all the detail in the guys' faces when it doesn't seem like it really affects like the facial expressions in the story. But I don't know, there's just something about it. You know, when I do like an actual review on this, and I can talk a little bit more on spoilers, I'll show it in the previews and talk a little bit more about the pages. But yeah, man, the art, I'm a little mixed on it. You know, there's a lot of great panels in here, a lot of beautiful panels, but a few panels, you know, I was a little iffy about. And you know, he's had 3 different artists for the you know, 2 different artists for XMen or House of X, and then POX. They each had their own artists, and now this has its own artist. So I'm interested to see where issue 2 goes, and I'm not dropping this one, period. It would have to be a really bad story for me to drop X-Men. But yeah, I'm interested to see, you know, how the art looks in the next issue, because it was weird. Like all the guys, they had like all these lines in their faces and stuff, but the women didn't have any of that. So it was like, I don't know, it was almost like a different artist worked on like certain different parts in it. But next we got Absolute Carnage issue 4. Now this cover is by far my favorite cover of the whole series. Just so beautiful. And this story, I don't know how I can talk about this without getting in the spoilers. This story is amazing, and there's only one more issue left. So Donny Cates, man, it better be, you know, a oversized issue, man, because I cannot wait. You got me waiting a month for issue 5? Come on, dog. Give me 2 weeks for issue 5, not a whole month. You're killing me. But man, I absolutely love this issue. It was so good. You know, things are at a point, man, where like I just love what Donny Cates has done with Eddie Brock, the character. He has just really grounded him and humanized him, and just made me really love the character of Eddie Brock. Like, the story at times isn't even about Venom. You know, at times Venom, like that story, he doesn't even have the symbiote at times. You know, it's just about Eddie. And I just love how he can turn a book that, you know, at times then he doesn't have the symbiote at the time in the story for, you know, and you still just love every panel that he is in. I absolutely love this issue, and I will be so sad to see it go. But thank God, you know, Venom Island is coming after, and we'll see what Donny Cates does next. I am so excited though for where that's gonna go. Next we got Spider-Man issue 2, the J.J. Abrams family saga. Issue 2 was definitely not as good as issue 1. A lot of the same type of trends that we always have seen with, you know, Spider-Man stories, but it's still interesting. I still liked it, and I'm interested in the Ben character. You know, this is issue 2, so we can talk spoilers for issue 1, I'd say. And you know, everything with Cadaverous and Peter like losing his arm. And I'm interested to see, you know, what kind of Spider-Man Ben becomes. You know, I'm interested, and I'm in for this whole run, no doubt about it. Sarah Pichelli and Dave Stewart are absolutely slaying it on the artwork. You can't get any better Spider-Man artwork than this. It is really good. Absolutely. And actually, speaking of Spider-Man artwork in this, I absolutely love Ryan Stegman's artwork on Spider-Man and just any of the characters in this. Ryan Stegman, man, and J.P. Mayer, they deserve awards for what they're doing on these books, man. They deserve awards because they are killing it. Next, Savage Sword of Conan, issue 10. This was a little bit of a step down from the issues I've read before, but in a way it seems like it's setting up a bigger story arc. And also, I thought Jim Zub was the one that was going to be starting the story arc, but I guess it's Roy Thomas. Still enjoyed it, but this was definitely more of a setup for what's to come. I'm interested to see where it goes. I love all these Conan stories, but yeah, this was a little bit different than the last two story arcs I read from Savage Sword, but I'm interested to see where it goes. Next, Guardians of the Galaxy issue 10. Another one of these freaking Rocket Raccoon covers where you think he's freaking dead, or is he dead? I don't know, man. But this was definitely a lot better of an issue than the last. I'm really interested with this Magus character. I don't know much about him at all, but he's a very powerful being, and I really am interested to see where Donny Cates takes this story. It is a huge bummer that, it's only going to 12. I thought this was going to be an ongoing, but I'm guessing with Thor, Venom, and all that stuff, he can only handle so much on his plate, so this is going to end for a little bit. It's so sad to see, because I feel like he really is just getting his grounding with all these characters, with Peter and Rocket. I really found like Rocket's voice when I'm hearing this story, and Groot's, even though Groot doesn't really talk that much in this story. He talks a lot more than you would be used to, like the MCU version and stuff. But man, I really think that Donny Cates is just starting to find their voice, these characters' voices, and it's just a bummer that it's gonna end after 2 issues. But I am really excited to see where he takes it, and hopefully maybe in the future he'll be able to come back and do some more issues, but we'll see. Next, I did not get to read these next 2 books because I am behind, but I would highly recommend this first book, History of Marvel Universe, especially if you don't have much knowledge of the Marvel Universe, like actual comic book universe, not the MCU. If you want to get to know, the history, I would highly recommend picking these up, because they, even though I'm behind, I know these are great books and great stories. This one I know deals more with like the 90s era, and I am excited to get to this. I gotta catch up. The next one is Captain America issue 16. Now this one I'm behind 2 issues, but it's for good reason, because this story has not been doing it for me. I hope when I read these next couple issues the story has gotten a little bit better, but for the main reason I've been buying this story is because I'm the biggest Captain America fan, and I love Alex Ross on these covers. That is the main reason, because Ta-Nehisi Coates is not the reason I'm buying this book. I gotta just say that. But hopefully, man, when I read these 3 issues that I'm behind on, hopefully he has, done a little bit more with the story. But next we're gonna get into DC, and this was I've taken this off my poll like once or twice, and I'm adding it again every week. Every time it comes in, I end up buying it because I read the latest issue and I just can't not get the next issue. And this is Teen Titans issue 35. Beautiful cover, and man, I believe it's Adam Glass who's been doing the writing. He has been really doing a phenomenal job when it comes down to writing these stories. I know I dropped off with that when Steel was a part of it. It was like I think it was a girl version of Steel or something. But now they have this new team with Jin, Roundhouse, and I just really have liked this story and everything that, it just seems everyone has hate for Damian, and I just really have liked this story, and I definitely am adding this again to my poll, because each issue just gets better and better, and man, he's just done a phenomenal job. And I would highly recommend this, because if you're a Teen Titans fan, this is a great book. Next, City of Bane issue 81. Well, Batman, City of Bane part 7, I believe. I am not a John Romita Jr. fan. I like his old work. I'm not a fan of his newer work, but he does good work on these last 2 Batman issues. I actually really like this cover. I love that, the Bane light taken out or put in and replaced for the Batlight. I really like that. This issue definitely was a step up from the previous issues, but it's still, it's moving a little bit slower. Well, I wouldn't say slow. The last issues were slow. This is finally kind of giving you the some of the info on what's been going on with Bruce's plan, and just figuring out that this has been maybe part of Bruce's plan the whole time, or maybe it hasn't. You'll have to pick this issue up to figure that out yourself. But I am excited to see what Tinian does once he's done. And man, I don't know, because I've hated some of these issues. I can't say I hate. Hate is too strong of a word. I have disliked some of the issues, but some issues of Tom King's have been fantastic. You cannot deny the guy that he does some fantastic writing. But some issues, man, he has a pacing problem maybe. But I can't just hate on the guy, man. He does put out great work, and I am excited to see what he does with Batman and Catwoman. I honestly can say that when I saw the storyline or description for what that's gonna be, I actually was interested in that, and I was like, man, Tom King, you're pulling at me. I told myself I wouldn't get your story, but I think I am gonna get it, because Tom King, man, you are a good writer, man, and sometimes people have struggles, and sometimes you gotta find your groove, and maybe this story was a little struggle, and people were giving him a lot of crap, so I'm gonna give that Batman and Catwoman a shot when it does come out. But I also picked up one of these dollar Batman books. Didn't get a chance to read it, but can't pass that up. That is a beautiful cover. That Nightfall story. Next, we got Justice League issue 34. Now, there is a part in this story. I can't say much, but there is a part in this story that completely, oh man, it's just like, do you remember, if you watch Infinity War, spoiler alert, if you didn't see it, oh my god, that's your fault. When Star-Lord does that thing and, screws it up when they're trying to get that gauntlet back, and he cracks Thanos in the face and ruins the whole plan for them. There's a moment in here that's like that, and you're just like, are you kidding me? Why didn't you listen to them when they were telling you? The story is not as big of a scale, I feel like, as they're making it to be. But once you get that ending, well, you think so until you get to the ending, and I am really excited to see where this goes. I was really behind on these issues, and it was starting to really drag with me. But I would say that this issue and the last were the better two. The ones before that were there's just so much going on, but I enjoyed this issue. It really did remind me in ways like, Zack Snyder and Tinian trying to pull off their own version of like a, Infinity War Endgame type scenario, like just in a comic book form with the Justice League. It seems like they're going for their type of, Endgame story, and I can dig that, and I will definitely continue, to see what they're gonna do with that. Last but not least, Aquaman issue 53. This story was really good. Not the last issues have had a lot of like sea monsters and stuff in it, and like sea creatures, but this one kind of got back to like more of the Poseidon stuff, and it wasn't a bad issue, but you kind of feel like they're trying to more tie in that Year of the Villain stuff instead of letting Kelly Sue DeConnick kind of do what she wants with her stories. It kind of feels more like, they're like, yeah, you gotta, get this Year of the Villain stuff going on or something. But I don't know. It's hard to talk so much when you don't want to give away stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed this issue. Next week is the annual. I have to see what that annual is gonna be about. But yeah, this Aquaman has definitely been really fun. This issue was one of the weaker ones, But, you know, the ones before that have all been really amazing. I've just absolutely loved all, like, the sea monsters and sea creatures. It's a different, cooler take on Aquaman. It's more the way I feel like I can see him as, like, you know, battling sea monsters and stuff. You know, the Poseidon and the godly stuff. I don't like as much, you know. I like the sea monsters and stuff. I don't know, that's just me, you know. But let me know what you guys picked up this week. Yeah, and let me know what you guys thought about this new week in comic books. Definitely let me know in the comic section what you guys thought of Absolute Carnage, what you thought of the X-Men, what you thought of any of these books I picked up, or any books that you might have picked up that I didn't. Because obviously I'm not picking up every book. I try to pick up everything I can. But I really try to pick what I like, you know. I'm not made of money, so I can only get so much, but I'm always interested to know what you guys are into, and maybe there's something that I missed that was really good this week, and I'm always interested in checking out something new. So let me know in the comment section how your comic book week was, and if you could hit that like button, hit the subscribe, be on the lookout for more videos coming soon. Peace.